two of the deepest full body chill moments in any horror film. This isn't, I don't even know necessarily how horrific this movie is, but in terms of the just chilling moments where I'm just almost the opposite of ASMR, like scary ASMR in a way that I don't think any other movie has done that to me twice. And a lot of really great performances. So I'm very excited to talk about how we're going to survive this film.
Well,
Ooh.
depends on who you are, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens, the podcast where gorehounds
And best friends, Terry Gamble,
and Julia Marchesi break down a different horror movie each week,
exploring a multitude of genres, subgenres,
and sub-subgenres,
classic and cult,
international,
and underground flicks alike, determining which films are the goriest,
and offering up horror movie survival guide tips
to help you stay alive.
Welcome to Horror Movie Survival Guide, Disco Citizens. I am Julia.
And I'm Terry. Oh my God, Julia, we have a doozy today because we have some friends. One of our greatest fan and friend is on the show today with her new podcast co-host. I'm so excited to chat with the dear Becky D'Anna. She is a movie studio executive for over 20 years with an eclectic taste in film ranging from Terminator 2, Judgment Day, the superior Terminator, if you will, to Ingmar Bergman's Wild Strawberries. She's equal parts fan, a cinephile, and fangirl, which I can attest because I've run into her at Comic-Cons. She's everywhere. Becky can tackle pop culture and cinematic subjects ranging from Star Trek to the French New Wave. Very well-rounded, if you will.
Yes, and she's also going to be doing a new podcast with Jon Laubinger, who was formerly the host of Film Baby Film. He's an attorney. He'd be her co-host on the new podcast, Director's Take, a Sony Pictures podcast, which is now available wherever you get your podcasts. So welcome
Absolutely.
to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yay!
This is
What's up,
so
Director's
exciting.
Take? Director's Take.
I
Ooh.
can't believe it. This is like, I've always wanted to be on your show. It's so exciting. I can't believe it. I had to get my own podcast to be on your show. It's very
Something to
exciting.
promote is helpful, you know?
It's
And I'm
helpful
so
to
excited to help
get in.
you.
So you're like my favorite horror podcast already, and I'm obsessed with Julia, and I'm obsessed with you, Terry. And I've said this story to a lot of my friends, but I'll just say it here to out myself. So I was a fan of Julia's before I was her friend, and I used to fangirl out on her. I used to go to the New Bev and be like, "Oh my gosh, she's so cool. Maybe one day I'll be her friend." And then I started talking to her, and then one day she invited me to her birthday party at the New Bev, and I like died. I like figured out what was like I'm gonna wear. What am I gonna do? I was like so excited. It was so exciting. And then we just became friends. And then I invited her to my birthday party. And then I would geek out that she came to my birthday party. And I still geek out when you come to my birthday parties.
Oh,
And
you
then
have great birthday parties, though. That's why.
thank you. And then
can throw a shindig for
With
sure.
some cake.
thanks. I love my birthday parties, and and then now Terry's my friend, and it's crazy. And I've introduced you to David, my best friend, so it's all
Who
really
I've gotten
cool.
to be on panel with at Comic-Con. Like the
Yes,
world is like, you
it,
know, all us film nerds finding each other.
it's
It's so
just so
cool.
funny though that like my best friend has been on your show, and I'm like, what's it like? That I've never been on your show. It's just so funny though because this is like a dream for me because I like love you guys so much, and also because, like I said, it's you can really happen. You could become friends with people you're fangirling out about. So
Here it is.
That's
Proof
real
positive.
life. Well,
it's
because you
all
have
good.
stuff in common. I know I've done that too, where I've been like, you know, yelling at my, you know, my radio as the podcast is playing, you know, as I'm driving around town at people that I feel like are, you know, my friends, and then you have so much in common, and you're just a cool cat. So it works out great. And John, you seem pretty cool too. I mean, from what I heard, like, you know, I
Well,
heard you're very entertaining at parties.
I'm here because I fangirled on Becky for so long. And
Yes.
eventually started my own podcast so I could have Becky. And Becky was on like half of the episodes. So it all comes full circle.
Excellent.
That's so funny. I was telling before we recorded, I don't even think you were on yet, John, but I was telling Julia and Terry that my best podcast appearances of my life have been on your podcast because John brings out the best of me. That's why when we created this new podcast for Sony Pictures, I'm like, John's my co-host. He's got to be my co-host. He brings out the best in me, and he's such a film nerd, and it's going to be the best. And we have recorded so many amazing episodes, and John is like the star of the show. It's so great. So I feel so lucky that he did this show with me.
Well, we are going to get
Oh,
into the nitty-gritty of how this show came to be, but first we have to know about how film made you the people you are. So, John,
yeah.
let's
When did
start
you
with
fall in love
you.
with
Tell
film?
us about your love
Yeah.
with film and where it all came from.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's interesting. I love being on this show because you guys love Stephen King as
We
much
do.
as I do.
Yeah.
And
I'm wearing
so,
my Ka Dark Tower necklace all day, every day.
oh yes. So what is the opening line of The Gunslinger? Is it the man in black raced across the
Fled
desert
across the desert.
and the gunslinger followed?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of the greatest lines. And so I started out as a kid of the 80s, just terrified of Chucky and
Oh
Freddy and
yeah.
Jason, having never seen the movies.
Oh, yeah.
But
Don't need to.
that was in an era where they would play the commercials on regular TV. And I had a My Little Buddy, and I was just
Oh
scarred
no.
for probably until I reached the age where I could read chapter books on my own. And so what do I immediately start reading but like the Dracula graphic novels, Stephen King in the fourth grade, like
Excellent.
books led me in, and movies were still too scary for me until The Shining. The Shining was
Ooh.
my first communal experience of horror, and it was, I think I was a freshman in high school. I had just stopped being a total nerd and had kind of become a jock. And I had all of my fellow freshman jocks with me. And we started The Shining with 4 people on 4 separate couches. And we ended the film with all of us on one couch, scared to do anything. And
Oh,
so
I love
when
that.
you have an experience like that, it's like, yeah, obviously movies are going to be my thing. And so from traumatized to totally obsessed was very much my journey. So yeah, it's especially exciting to be on this podcast.
And so is this Shining your favorite King adaptation?
Yeah, and of course it's one of those things where I have very mixed feelings about it because I know how much Stephen King hates it. It's interesting. I also have mixed feelings about, because I loved the Tommyknockers.
Mm.
And I know that that was the book that Stephen King wrote that got him sober because he realized he didn't remember writing it. Do I have that right? Was that Tommyknockers or Needful Things?
He talks about not remembering quite a few of his books.
Oh.
Lots of
So
nose
it's
candy and other things. They're just wiping the
yeah, yeah,
memories
yeah.
clean.
Yeah, so I have mixed feelings about loving The Shining as much as I do, considering I know how much he hates it. But it isn't just one of the greatest Stephen King adaptations; it's one of the best adaptations ever. I also
One of
really
those things
love
when an artist gives the thing, it becomes another thing. Like we were talking about, like Rocky Horror, as it had its 50th, and it's like Richard O'Brien being like, "Well, it belongs to the people now." And I feel like The Shining is kind of that too, where yes, he was the genesis of it, but that's Kubrick's movie, you know.
yeah. And I'll
Anyway,
say
sorry.
something a
Yes,
little no, I just
yeah.
something a little weird. One of my favorite Stephen King adaptations is not a Stephen King adaptation, but for my money, Midnight Mass by Mike Flanagan. Like Mike
Oh,
Flanagan is so inspired by King,
Mm-hmm.
but
clearly.
that sort of like it's like a sobriety show. It's a show about grief and God, and it's like a
And New
slow
England
like
as hell. Yeah.
it's Ingmar Bergman, Romare, like slow conversation horror that all of a sudden collides into a cacophony of just mayhem at the. It's yeah.
It's so
So
well done. I
yeah,
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flanagan does King right because he's a fan and he sees it from that angle, which I think is crucial. So, Becky, let's talk to you. Tell us about your film beginnings.
Oh my gosh, my film beginning. So my parents took me to were obsessed with movies, and they took me to everything since I was a kid. So I never was censored from anything. I don't think they ever had a babysitter, so they just took me to every movie. So I saw a lot of things I probably shouldn't have seen, but whatever. I turned out great, I think. I think so.
We think so.
We agree.
Yeah, and yeah, I remember being in line at the National in Westwood, and I think this is on my website because it's like a formative experience. I was like 6 years old in line to like that used to you couldn't do advanced ticket sales. You had to get in line, and we were like for Twilight Zone the movie. and that was amazing. I saw horror films like my whole life. This is a funny story. When I was 5, I saw the movie Visiting Hours. Have you guys ever covered that movie?
No.
Oh
No.
my god.
Add it to the list, Julia.
Okay.
The key art is amazing. It's if you look up if anyone looks it up, it's like it's a hospital. And the hospital makes the lights in the hospital make up a skull on the side.
Cool.
Anyway, what's
Ooh.
funny is I was 5 years old and my parents took me to Visiting Hours, and it's like a slasher film. So there's this one part where this woman's like careening around the hallway and being chased by somebody, and it's very quiet. You can hear a pin drop, and I said in the theater, this is just like Scooby-Doo. And I think I broke the tension. People weren't like annoyed, and the whole audience burst out laughing. I think
'Cause
now
they
people would be like,
agreed.
yeah, I think people probably be like now, like, why is the kid here? But I was like, this is great. But I was like seeing the slasher film. My parents didn't even like bat an eye that. So they took me to like Fatal Attraction when I was 9. I mean, everything. So I saw everything, loved movies. I think, and I've said this openly too on so many podcasts, and really, you don't know me very long without knowing this about me, but I fell in love with movies when I was 14 when I saw Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That movie completely changed my life. I'd never seen a movie that was as extraordinary and impactful, and just it was perfect. It was perfect. And I became obsessed with it. I saw it 3 times in the theater, and then I saw it 19 more times on like Laserdisc after that. And
Oh, Laserdisc.
oh
Oh,
my god, the Laserdisc. It's the best. Yeah, and so that was a movie that like changed my life. And then later I realized like I didn't want to make movies. I wanted to market them and get as many people as possible to know about movies that could change their life, like T2 changed mine. So that's really what got me into it. But I know you didn't specifically ask about horror, but since we did talk about horror a little bit with John, I became obsessed with horror though when I was 9. And I just I walked in, I think once, and my dad was watching like Halloween, the first Halloween, and it was halfway in. It was that part where his sister, not his sister, like the Judith Myers tombstone is
Mhm.
on the bed. And I remember when I saw that, I'm like, what's this? And so my dad rewinded, and I watched it all over with him. And then I became obsessed with like all the Halloweens. I watched them all by myself when I was 9. I went through all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Children of the Corn, anything I could get my hands on. Actually, I'm wearing my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. You probably can see it. It's Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Nice.
we love Dream Warriors. That's one of it's one of my favorites.
So it's my
So
favorite Nightmare
good.
on Elm Street movie. Yeah, I feel like I haven't worn this shirt to any podcast. I'm like, gotta wear it to this one. But yeah, that was when I got sucked in, and I was obsessed with horror films when I was 9. And I'm still such a horror junkie now. Like I
You
can't
got sucked
stop.
in like through the TV. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Like it
Welcome to
happens
prime
in Dream
time, bitch.
Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and that film is so formative. Like the house, what is it like? Bastard son of a thousand maniacs.
Right.
That was like the key scene to know about where Freddie came from. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of like where all my movie loving came from, just from my parents dragging me to film and just seeing everything. And then I got more into, when I was in college, I started to, that's when I fell in love with Ingmar Bergman, and then became like obsessed with Ingmar Bergman. And now I've seen like 44 of his films, and
That's
I've taught a 6-hour
incredible.
lecture on him. And yeah,
Oh, I want
and
the
so,
lecture.
oh yeah,
Ooh.
maybe I'll record it
I
at
want to
some
go to
point.
that class, or like, yeah, I would
I-
go to that like nerd night,
Yeah,
like
totally. I think my dream actually is to
mhm.
podcast in the day and teach at night. That would be amazing.
I
Done.
think
You
it's
might have to
doable.
reverse them, but
Yeah,
yes.
I feel like it's due one day. One day. We'll see.
Well, let's
Yeah.
talk about then with John. Let's talk to you about how your love of film turned into something where you were now not only talking about film, but working in the industry in Los Angeles as well.
Oh yeah, well, I'm in New York City. We make our
Ah,
podcast. I'm gonna give away a secret. We make our podcast look like we're in the same room, but we're on 2 totally different coasts.
Oh, I
excellent.
love that.
Yeah. No, so what happened was always liked movies, found it I loved reading, loved movies, and the addiction really got really intense when I got sober in 2017, and I quit everything when I was at Sundance Film Festival. This is absolutely true. I didn't even
Oh,
know
that's
normal
brutal.
And even
Sorry, that's like I can't. It's a party event. Like it's a lot of. Anyway,
yeah,
yes,
I mean, my entire life was a party event up until that
yeah,
point, so
okay,
it wouldn't matter
understood.
where I was, but
Yeah.
so I immediately went from partying all the time to now all of a sudden I needed a new hobby, and I was in Sundance Film Festival for the first time, and I think I saw Raw by Julia Ducournau, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Yes, this movie gets me. Like, this is where I'm
yeah,
at in my life.
yeah.
I need more of this." I saw Mandy at a later date, and
Nice.
so it was just all these movies coming, and I wanted to find other people that were as interested in movies as I was, and I started listening to podcasts that Becky was on, like Wrong Reel, and really just was wanted to be on as many podcasts as I could. Started my own podcast, went on to everybody else's, and really, it's when I started my podcast, I ended up accidentally doing about half of my episodes on Ingmar Bergman with Becky, and it was so amazing, and it was really great podcasting with her. I since stopped doing that podcast, and Becky really through just sheer luck of mine, I'm pinching myself. It's like my dreams have come true a little bit. Becky reached out and asked me if I would get back into podcasting. So here we are.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, I guess Becky, let's hear about your career leading up to the podcast here too. And let's how did it all come
Oh,
together for you?
yes. Yeah, so I've been marketing movies since oh god, like 25 years, which is crazy. So when Terminator 2, again, that made me fall in love with movies. And then when I was like 15, I became obsessed with Michael Eisner. I get a lot of obsessions. But I saw Michael Eisner on TV and he talked about like he was at, actually, he was talking about the America Teachers Awards. He was the host. And I remember thinking, oh, who's he? Oh, he's the head of Disney. And I thought, oh, how cool it'd be to like work at Disney and be corporate executive.
Mhm.
So when I was 15, I literally went to the library and I researched anything and everything I could about Michael Eisner and how he got to where he was. And I'm like, how do I become a corporate executive? Okay, well, first, I already knew I had a fear of public speaking. And I'm like, I got to learn how to work as a team player. I got to go to college in LA and I need to get internship. I literally wrote a list of things that I needed to do to make my dream come true. And it was crazy. And then I was like hardcore about that list since 15. And I did everything. Like I ended up getting into USC and then I tried to get an internship after I did
Like the
internship.
school, if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it. I know I went to the other school in town, but you
Oh,
went to the school.
oh, well, thanks. It's so funny. People say USC. Some people say USC is a university of second choice, but I got into UCLA too. So by the way, so I
Hey,
I,
that's
I chose
badass.
USC.
Good
When I
on
went to
you.
USC, I walked on the campus. I'm like, this is where I'm meant to go, and I
Mhm.
was very excited that I got to go there. But yeah, and then and it was funny when I was in college, the head of partnerships at Disney came to speak. And but at this point, I just wanted to be a corporate executive for a movie studio. I didn't really know what. And then when he came to speak, I was like, I think this is what I want to do. I want to market movies. And I think partnerships is what I want to do. And then when I started interning, I realized it didn't really matter anymore what studio I worked for, as long as I got to work in a movie studio. And then after college, I got a job at 20th Century Fox in international partnerships. And I didn't really know anything about international. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I know what people makes people go to the movies in the US, but not international. But I, started as an assistant and then I got into it and I ended up loving international. And then now I've been doing the same thing for 25 years and I was at 20th Century Fox for 5 years. And then I worked at an agency representing Burger King and kids meal programs. And I worked with all the movie studios. So I would
How
like work. It was really
cool.
fun. And so I got to be the other side where I was the brand for 2 years. And then it was cool because I got to work with all the movie studios. So I'm like, figured out which studio I liked the best. And Sony was the one that I was like in love with. And then Sony, because all these studios were working with me, they knew what I was about. So Sony reached out at some point and said, like, hey, we have an opening. Do you want to come over to work with us? And I said, yes. So
Nice.
then I came over to Sony. And then this summer will be 18 years that I've been at Sony Pictures. And then, I'm obsessed with,
Incredible.
thank you. I'm obsessed with movies. So on the side forever, I've been, writing top 10 lists. And then I go to the movies as my free time. So in 2019, I created a website where I essentially put like the history of all my top 10 lists. And then I started putting in all my podcast appearances. Cause in 2015, my one of my closest friends, Jamie Hancock, he had a show called Wrong Reel that he started, and we actually were interns together at Sony in college, and he created his own show, and so I ended up going on, and then he started asking me on, and then all these other podcasts started asking me on, like John's. And then I never thought I knew more about Ingmar Bergman than anyone else, but apparently I knew a
You
lot.
do.
And then all of a sudden I was like the Bergman person. All these podcasts wanted me on to talk about Bergman. So it was exciting. And yeah, so that's how I got into the movie business. And then on the side, I've been podcasting and talking about movies.
So how
Yeah.
specifically did Director's Take come together?
So Director's Take came together because Sony celebrated their 100-year anniversary in 24, and that was an initiative. We were trying to come up with ideas for that.
Wow.
And I came up with the idea to do a movie podcast to celebrate the 100 year. We put a lot of work behind it. It didn't really end up working out in the end. And then I was really sad about it because I thought it would be amazing. And then last December at the Christmas party, one of my friends was moving over from theatrical to home end, and he's like, "Hey, we need to do a show to help push our catalog sales. Would be cool to revive your podcast." And I'm like, "Wait, what? That'd be amazing." So I said, "Yeah, I'll work with you on that." And we came together and we put together a deck and we presented it, and they said yes, which was it was like a dream come true. And then I kept thinking, I'm not going to believe this is happening until we record our first episode. And then now I'm like, oh, I'm not going to believe it's happening until it releases. And we're recording this right. It's releasing on Monday right now. So by the time this show airs, you'll have heard the first episode, which is very exciting. But the premise of the show and what we called it is Director's Take, a Sony Pictures podcast. And the unique idea behind it, which we're really proud of, is that we interview directors or movie or film directors. Right now, we've done a lot of movie director interviews, and I do it with John, and we ask them to pick a film from our Sony Pictures catalog to celebrate, and it's really exciting. So what's fun is the directors get to talk about movies that they love that they didn't work on.
And that
So
they don't
it's
get to
been
talk about ever, probably, because no one's
no.
asking them about this, so they get to
No,
talk about their
yeah.
favorite things.
Yeah. And I think it's like, it was one of those things where like, oh, this film director is probably so sick of talking about this film, but they would kill to talk about this Frank Capra film. So, and that's what we found when we've done a lot of reach out to directors, is that they get excited. They're like, oh my gosh, can I? And then it's funny. And some of the directors I can't mention right now, but there have been some iconic directors that we're literally seeing an email and they're like, is this movie still available? Like, it's so cute. Like, they're like, they want to make their claim on like, can I talk about this one, or is this one taken? And I'm no. So my dream is that at some point directors will start coming to us instead of us reaching out to them and being like, hey, I want to be the one to talk about this movie before someone else does. That would be the dream. The other thing that's really exciting and what we're really hoping is that maybe these directors like get excited about that someone's talking about their work, and then maybe they connect if they didn't know about each other before. Like, hey, I heard you talk about my movie.
You're helping make collaborations and friends. Look
Exactly.
at
That would be amazing.
Because they become fans of the people that they hear and talk about, and that talk about them. See, this is like another reverse engineer, Becky, of like fans and working together. See, fans and friends.
So John and I have had so much fun. And like the first episode we did, which I'm sure you guys have all heard by now. Hopefully you liked the episode. And if you didn't, and you're hearing this now, please go check it out. It's wherever you get your podcast. But our first episode is with Zach Kreger, who directed Barbarian and Weapons. And he
so good.
Oh my gosh. So it's so funny because we recorded this episode before Weapons came out.
Oh my gosh. So you didn't know?
So it was my most anticipated film of the year, but I hadn't seen it yet. So it's funny because when you listen to the episode, I'm like, oh, Barbarian's one of my favorite films. And then he also has a movie called Weapons. And it's I don't know if anyone listens to it and they're like, oh, she must not like Weapons. But oh my God. I was so obsessed with Weapons. I've seen it 4 times in the theater.
Oh my gosh.
I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite film of 2025. So maybe it was good that I didn't see it before we recorded, because I was like, I'm so in love with this movie. It's so extraordinary. So, but anyway, Zach was amazing. And John and I had the best conversation with him, and he gushed about adaptation. And that was just so fun. It's like, we're big film nerds. All these directors are film nerds. So it's just so fun to like geek out about these movies,
Are you
right,
getting like
John?
into the
Yeah.
technical? Like, what's the conversations like, John? Can you share a little bit about like what you guys get into in the show?
Yeah, it really runs the gamut. So first of all, Becky mentioned Zach. Zach is like the dreamiest guy. He's so smart, so funny. He did, sketch comedy for years, and having him come on for our first episode, it was like this is like training wheels. This guy makes it so easy to kick off the show, and so he was excellent. But yeah, it really runs the gamut, right? Because some people we have come on and they want to talk about camera angles and they want to, but also many of the people that come on to talk about the movies that they pick, they saw it when they were kids. They saw it they snuck into movie theaters. We've talked about a horror film or two so far, and people talk about
Mm-hmm.
getting sneaking into horror films with their parents, and that's where they see the movie for the first time. So it really runs the gamut of topics. But people just, they get to pick movies they love, and instead of talking about
The
many of these
same.
directors,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're talking about the same thing over and over again. They have talking points for their own movies when they come out. Instead, we get to have them come on and they just get to, as Becky said, gush about some classic film or something that they saw that inspires them to be
Oh, I
movie
love
makers
that. I love the
themselves.
inspiration loop that's
Yeah.
like that you're creating. That's really, really cool. Because I think that is there's such a conversation. Sometimes even when you see someone's project, you can see it's in conversation with another piece of art, right? And so getting to like kind of see and hear like the background, you're like, now when I watch those directors' work going forward, I probably am gonna notice, oh,
Yeah.
he probably stole that shot from adaptation or whatever. Like now I see why he's obsessed with that. Like I love getting to see that. That's the kind of inside baseball thing I love about film is like
Totally.
those love letters. Like when I watched Julia's movie, I was like, I knew all the things. I was like, when I was watching shots, I was like, I know what movie this is referencing. Oh, I know what this one is referencing as
I did the
well.
same thing with Julia's movie. I was like
Yeah.
geeking out. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, look that she, and then I'm like, she did a cameo. Well, it's just like Hitchcock. And I
Yeah.
was like, she's so cool. Yeah.
John, I can send it to you if you
Exactly.
want to see. I got to adapt a Stephen King short story through his Dollar Baby program. So if you,
It's so
That's
good.
awesome. I can't wait to see
Yeah.
it.
It's one of the last ones I got through. So good and just so lovely. Got to see it on the big screen at Comic-Con, which was incredible too.
I
That
did
was
too.
like
Yeah.
the sound in there was so good. Anyway, it was so cool.
thank you,
So
ladies.
I
Thank you.
I
Friends,
love
friends.
this. So you kind of replicating what you're doing your show a little bit. We asked you to pick a film, and I know you guys picked something beautifully from the Sony catalog. But we got a
Well,
newer film to talk about with
yeah, yeah.
you. Yes, it is from your catalog, right? Like from what I checked. Yes.
Is it? I don't think so.
Is it
I
not
don't,
Sony?
no, I don't think it's
You
Sony.
guys just picked one? Okay, I thought it was Sony.
No,
I thought it
sorry. We
was.
probably should have picked a Sony
I really
movie.
thought it was. I thought because from you guys sent us
Act-
a list of movies that you were
No, what we
suggesting that
just
we
said.
had not covered yet.
We just
So
picked our favorite. I mean, I love a lot of Sony movies, but I think we just picked we just picked a bunch of movies that we loved.
from
And
your
then
top 10 list from this last year,
yeah, and
basically.
then John
Okay.
was like, we went back and forth, and John was like this. It was so funny because John kept sending me movies. I'm like, what about this one? What about this one? I'm like, oh my God, these are my favorites. He's like, yeah. He was looking at my letterbox and he was picking movies that I loved. And I thought he was organically just picking his favorite. I'm like, John and I are so aligned. And
He
he was
was
just like, it
doing
was
his research like you would do. He made a list and he
Checked it
went through
twice.
and yeah, oh my God, that's hilarious. I love
so
that.
funny. But
Becky, I
yeah,
don't
and
do
then
anything organically. I research the heck out of everything.
This is an attorney. He comes ready for the arguments. Understood, John. I see you. All right.
so
So you all,
funny.
can you tell the people what you chose for us today and why?
Yeah. Do you want? I don't. I guess. I guess I'll talk because I feel like I keep talking. Sorry, John. We chose Presence, a Steven Soderbergh film that is just very stripped down and atmospheric. And it was. I saw it in January. It was. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, this is a lock for my top 10 list. I don't even know. It's crazy. It was January, and I'm like, I already know this is on my top 10 list. And it just really was so moving. And I was really floored by it and the whole first person perspective. And so we'll get into it. But yeah, I just thought it was really powerful and had intimate performances. and just an amazing screenplay. And I love that Steven Soderbergh actually was the camera operator behind it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like the movie is told through a ghost perspective, and he's the one holding the camera throughout the whole movie. He had to wear like these special little slipper shoes so he wouldn't make noises, and he says that he could mess up the shot if he was in it too long, but he was the actor, so he was really in the whole movie as the camera operator. And I just thought it was extraordinary. And it's 90, I think it's like 94 minutes.
Yeah, it's tight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it just really floored me when I saw it. And it's like kind of haunting and a ghost story, but it's also more about a family than even, I think that's more it than it's a setup of that's a haunting, but it's really just about observing a family and what they're going through. And I just thought it was fascinating, and that's why I wanted to choose to see it. And I'm excited you guys chose it too.
Yeah, well, John,
Why?
tell
What?
us about when you
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did not see it in the movie theater, unfortunately, but I did see the trailer over and over again in the movie theater for a while here in New York City, over at the Lincoln Center AMC.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And my wife was there with me, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm never going to see that ever. It's haunting. It looks
Oh.
like I'm gonna get dizzy." And so we didn't end up going see it in the movie theater together, but I did see it. I've seen it a few times, and everything that Becky said. I will also say two of the deepest full body chill moments in any horror film. This isn't, I don't even know necessarily how horrific this movie is, but in terms of the just chilling moments where I'm just almost the opposite of ASMR, like scary ASMR, in a way that I don't think any other movie has done that to me twice.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of really great performances. So I'm very excited to talk about how we're going to survive this film.
Well,
Ooh.
depends on who you are, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It really does.
Mhm.
So beautifully shot. And I love hearing all these details because I didn't go deep down into I just knew it was a Soderbergh, and I was like, I feel like it was like a kind of COVID-ish, like coming out of like it's like what can you do with small cast in a small space and all that kind of stuff too. I think it was just really effective, and what amazing casting. Lucy Liu as the mom. Hello. Hello.
She's so
I
great.
mean, but Chris Sullivan from This Is Us, I was like, we're gonna cry. And then when he did in the movie, I was like, yep, these are the people you hire to cry because the This Is Us show is like every episode. If you guys ever watched it, for those who haven't, it's always a cry. Like there's always somebody who's gonna like break down. It's always very emotional. So I knew he would have the emotional range, and where he started to where he ends up, holy goodness. Mwah, mwah,
So,
mwah.
did you both go in knowing that this was going to be from the ghost POV? Was that already spoiled for you? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I knew from the trailer, because the trailer makes it very obvious. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. That's an
Mhm.
entire movie of, the opening scene of Halloween. Like, yeah, I'm in
Right.
for this.
Oh yeah, I didn't. I kind of assumed it was, but I like to try to go. I try to go in cold for as many movies as possible. Although I like trailers, so I love watching trailers, and I'll watch trailers in the theater. But if there's a trailer online, I won't seek it out. So if I see it in the theater, great. This trailer was extraordinary, and I had seen it multiple times, and I was like, what is this? And is this a scary movie? And then they said that leaves are hard on the floor. They had like a review of some critic that said that, and that was pretty accurate. But I wasn't sure what I was in for, or what it was going to be about, and if it was going to be super scary or like really emotional or poignant or what. And I assumed it was from the ghost perspective, but I didn't really 100% know. I try to like, oh, I think I know, but I didn't really try to do any really research before I went in. So, because I like to be as surprised as possible. And this was a movie where it's a mystery. You're trying to figure out what's happening, and who this ghost is, or like what's happening, and then getting details from the family. You pick up all these details from the
I
family
didn't know
talking.
any of it because I didn't watch any trailers, and I actually didn't know anything until I watched it
That's
for this
great.
episode. So, what about you, Julia?
I knew that was the
Oh
hook.
yeah,
Yeah. So was when did you start to get who the perspective was from when you watched
who knew
it?
that? when I watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was a ghost story because it's called Presence. That's the name. Like, and
Right.
also, strangely enough, I'm working on a circus show that also has the same title that we've been working on for
Oh.
almost 7 years now. We're actually doing some rehearsals coming up this month right now as we're gearing up to probably take it overseas and do another like full workshop of it with my best friend Joe Pinzon of Short Round Productions. So it was actually kind of funny. I was like, Joe, someone beat you with the title and it's coming out right now. I literally texted him as soon as I saw like the name come up and like what's happening. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a ghost movie and it's going to be a family in a house. And I was like, yep. So cool. Zeitgeist, doing its thing. But I also know that coming, through pandemic life and all that kind of stuff, we as a society have gone through a lot of loss. And I think a lot of people were contending with that. And then the loss of kind of like what society is becoming or what has become since then. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff. And think we're already seeing like kind of the aftermath of that, of the loss and how people are contending with it. So we're seeing a lot of stuff obviously shot small, like I was talking about before, where it's, capsule things because they only could take a few people that were shot like kind of through this time. And so I had a feeling, but knowing I forgot about reading something about the Steven Soderbergh being like the camera guy. And I was like, oh yeah. So yeah, I knew fairly early.
Okay.
Fairly early because as soon as you get in that house, you start seeing mirrors, and I was like, oh no. And then as soon as Julia Fox shows up, it's going to be creepy because she's like a creepy bellwether. I feel like I just saw him a couple weeks ago, and I was like, she's creepy and she's good at it.
I love
Don't buy a
that.
house from Julia Fox is what I would say.
One of my favorite scenes from the movie is when she showcases the mirror and she says silver nitrate. And immediately in my head, I'm thinking, oh, wait a second. Isn't that the ingredient in the old silent films that made it flammable?
Correct.
And so I'm thinking, oh, there's danger here in that mirror.
Correct. As
Yeah.
soon as she said it, same thing. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's bad. That's bad news.
Yeah, nobody gets science-y on anything else during the entire movie, I don't think. So that's when you're like, oh, I better pay attention to this.
Well, there's a little bit actually. The kid towards the end when he talks about the synthetic fentanyl and gets into that stuff, he does talk about the drugs, and they actually have a through line of like of poisons and drugs and things like that. And there's a few different things that are like, I'm always looking for like the Chekhov's gun, if you will, so to speak, right? Like Julia, I'm like Chekhov's pen, Chekhov's this, whatever it is that ends up being the thing. And like, so
Chekhov's
when they
mirror,
had the
silver nitrate
mirrors,
mirror.
the mirror, and then all the like stained glass. And I was like, oh, anytime you got a thing, just a bunch of glass hanging around in a house, and it's not gonna go well.
When they specify what it's made out of, like, because if you say film but you say silver nitrate film, you go, oh, something's gonna catch on fire, something's gonna burn. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is so random, and I'm totally geeking out right now because I'm like, oh my God, what are they going to say about this movie? It's like it's like listening in the episode.
You're
I'm
in
like
the
a fan.
episode, Becky.
I'm in the episode. I'm like fangirling. I'm
You're
like,
the
oh my God, I
presence
can't wait to
in
hear
the
what they say about this
episode.
movie.
It's from
So
your
funny.
POV now.
It's so funny.
So yeah, so I mean, it's a beautiful house. It's a 100-year-old like craftsman house, which one of my favorite kind of homes. Like I was like,
Yeah,
those
it's
always look haunted
gorgeous.
to me anyway, but also freaking gorgeous. And yes, I would buy the house. Like even if Julia Fox sold it to me, I'd probably be like, yeah, it probably haunted, but I'll hang out with these ghosts. Like
Yeah, like how do you question buying this house? Its house is
but this fire
gorgeous.
station is nearby, though. That's Chris says, right? And he's like, there's a fire station around the corner, so it might be too noisy. Even though that's probably we want some quiet. But the mom really wants a good school district for her son. So because he's a star athlete, and we want to make sure he's able to continue swimming and doing his thing. Oof, yeah.
So
And then the painters don't want to paint the room.
No,
and that was
one of the
also
painters.
bad.
Yeah, I was like, nope, not going in that room. You go, okay.
That's a fascinating detail.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah,
the-
this
ahead.
movie is so contained. Basically, the only other people that come into the house, other than Cece, the medium, and her partner, is the painters. And one of the painters is like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna paint any other place in this house other than this one room."
This room that's clearly got a presence in it. And I think that's actually where I wrote. I even have my note, camera work feels like ghost POV. And that was right after it talks about the swimming meet. And that's literally on the first scene. So I was in.
You
I was
knew.
like, oh, this
You
the
knew.
ghost is going to do. But also the way it's cut, it's edited because it's not very, it's linear, but it's not linear because you actually can't tell when the scenes take place. And you could recollage these scenes any way you want, honestly, because of like, as the medium, when she comes in and talks about, we get a medium lady, which I love, is going to come in and which would have been a part for me. Perfect. Please let me play your mediums. If you have a movie and you need a medium, give me a freaking call. That's like literally my calling.
I'm doing it right now. I am literally writing you a medium part right now.
Okay,
Tara,
great.
so.
That's
Oh
great.
my God. Okay, I can't wait. But that's like literally what I need to be. But anyway, She comes in though, and she does tell them though too that time for a ghost sometimes it's there is no past, present, or future. It's always at that same time. So they might be there warning you for something that's about to happen because they've already gone through it, but they can't tell you what time it is because time isn't real for them. It doesn't work in the same way. So that's why this story, you could literally re-edit this movie 10 different ways, which I think would be very cool, and have the same movie or a similar movie, but the outcome could actually be a little bit different because time is not linear
Oh my
necessarily in this
God.
story. We actually don't know what time any of it took place by
Yeah,
the
there's
end of the
always
movie.
I
jumps.
feel like, oh my God, I feel like I just figured out something about this movie that I never knew before. Well, I'll
Okay.
talk about it at the end because of what you just said. Because I'm
Oh.
like, wait, what? I think I just
The
realized
ending's not the
something.
ending
No.
necessarily. That could be that ending is probably the beginning of the movie. You could actually watch the whole thing in reverse.
Blew my mind right now, Terry.
She does that. She's a mind
God.
blower.
I'm always like, I always say time is a construct, and I think it's not linear anyway because I think we're all in hell anyway. So like, I really, I'm always wondering about the time and space continuum. I think it's super weird. So this
Oh
movie
my
really does a good
God.
job of that.
Terry,
Wow.
Julia, Becky, is this the scene where you all start thinking about, oh, who is the presence? Is
Oh,
that
in
when you
this
first started
call,
really thinking? No, not in this call.
one of us is
w-
dead. You don't know which one. Which of us is it?
when the medium shows up and says, "Oh, time is a construct for them. They don't see it in the same order as we do." Is that when you all started thinking, so maybe it could be somebody that's in this scene right now? Is that when everybody started thinking about who was the
I
presence,
never
or was
thought
it
about it
before
till
then?
Terry said that right
I
now.
thought it early on because I
Honestly.
always wonder when they have those things because I feel like there's a few movies that have done that where like they have somebody in there and you find out later you're like, oh, that person's actually been dead the whole time and we've just been wandering around this person. And so I was like, oh, maybe that kid's already dead. Maybe this one's dead because like the way they interact with each other is so disjointed. Like the fights that they have with each other, the way the lines work with each other. Like when the family's having a fight at the dinner table, it's like they could not have that person might not even be saying anything. Like, do you know what I mean? They're like, you can question make a case for almost any one of them throughout the movie, but especially the kids, because the way they
Yeah.
talk about the kids, you feel like one of them is already gone.
Because the medium near the end, which we'll get to, does say that's why it blew my mind. Well, I'll talk about it later. But she said something
hmm
like, this is the dream I had, but it could be something that hasn't happened yet." And I was like, that's interesting. But then when you said that thing about, oh my God, I'm so excited to finish going through this. This is so exciting. And now I'm like, is this my favorite movie of the year?
Yeah.
I do. The only thing that I felt frustrating is not being able to get the answer about like what mom has done. Like mom's into
Yeah.
something
Oh, what did
super
she
shady,
did
but
something
like
fucked up?
what did she do? We don't ever learn that. And that's like as the ghost, that's fine if they don't. But for audiences, like, oh, we don't get to know. Okay.
And then will there ever be consequence? Because it sounds like it's imminent that
Bad.
like the fact that in the right after the painter scene, she's talking to her son and she's like, "Hey, I want you to know that it's okay that I did this because I did it for you," which I just want to say as I don't want to hear that from my parent. "Hey, I did this awful thing, but it was for you." So I'm like, don't put it on me.
And you're not
I
even
don't think
gonna
that's
tell
a
me
good.
what it is you're talking about. You're being very obtuse. Like what? What?
Yeah. Yeah, and then so I think throughout I'm like, "Well, what did she do?" But then also, will it sounds like it's imminently gonna come to a head, but it doesn't in this movie at least. So,
So
Or
will
it
did
that
probably
it?
had
Because
to
it
have.
could have.
I think it probably was something with her son, right?
Yeah, she covered up something for him.
string she pulled to get him where
hmm
he's going or whatever.
See, I
But
assumed it was some corporate thing, like that I
mm-mm.
don't
I
know.
thought
Oh
it
my
was with her
God.
son. She had done
It was
something
something
to
for the
get
kid.
him a
She covered
better
up something for
school or
him.
covered something up. Yeah, because the Ryan does make the point of saying like your brother's not a nice guy, even though he isn't either. But he is specifically saying like you don't know what he's like at school and he's awful.
Like I said,
Mhm.
I could make a case for this movie going backwards, like I said. So it's like that whole thing that he had with like that girl, Simone, who ends up in the mental place and all that kind of stuff too. And like whatever he'd done with her. Anytime you have like the dad kept asking, why do you have to take the picture? Because I unfortunately wish I didn't know, but like anytime someone sends you a picture or text, if you're underage, you're dealing with any type of that, like 18 to 14 when you're in high school, sometimes it can happen. Those are counts of statutory rape. Those can actually be taken to a court of law. My attorney
Mm.
knows text messages, things like that. As we have an attorney on the call, thank you, John. He's nodding yes. Those things can all be counted against you. So I don't know what time that actually took place in this story and when that actually pops in.
So you
If we're
think that's
going,
what mom's covering up for?
could be something related to that or something else that he's done that's similar, which is why we're getting that story because there's a reason that was popped in there, right? So
So funny. I always
Mm-hmm.
assumed it was something that she did, like embezzled money, and that was going to come to a head
That's
at some
possible
point.
too.
It
Yeah,
seemed
or
that way
like,
with the email thing, but why is she getting the weird email thing?
yeah. I thought it was something corporate too, like she bought Twitter and ruined it or something like that. I don't know.
There's no consequences for that. I don't think.
No, I was gonna say, this is 2025. Zero chance that Lucy Liu faces any consequences.
Uh,
Yeah. But and then the fact that the parents went away for the weekend though, and they go and leave them after like they'd had this whole thing like with the ghost thing. I was like, why would they do that after that? Probably would happen before. Anyway, I don't know. I don't
mm.
know. Why would you leave the kids when you've noticed a ghost and the whole family's seen it? Like the whole family. This is after like the whole family is freaked
Yeah, and they're
out,
worried
right?
about Chloe too because they're afraid that they don't know, they think that she's not as completely stable, so they are leaving her alone
Is she on
too.
drugs like her friend was who passed
Yeah.
away?
Do
Or
you
was that friend on drugs?
have you two ever been in a haunted house in real life?
No, that sounds awesome though.
Well,
I
it depends on the kind of haunted house, you know?
Julia's been in a
Yeah.
few, and some of them are great, and some of them not so much.
Yeah.
I've been in one with Julia, and it's
Oh,
interesting.
really? Oh my God.
Mhm.
I feel like I say I would want to, but then I would like freak the F out. With
Yeah.
Steve, you know what's funny? Steven Soderbergh started this script because he wrote like the first 10 pages and then gave it to David Koepp to finish. But his house, LA house, was supposed to be haunted. That his like cat sitter, I think, saw a woman walk from one room to another. And then he said he never saw this ghost, and he's not sure he believes in ghosts, but that he did some research, and there was a woman that like killed herself in the 80s in like their house. So it stems from like someone saw a haunting in his house and he thought that was interesting. But yeah, what is it like when you've been in a haunted house?
I love that.
Mine was also a dog sitting thing where like, and the lady who owns the house had never seen anything either, but I was like, oh, you lady, your house is haunted. And it was like to the point where I was like, it was definitely like, I don't have any doubt that this happened, and I'm not going to tell you about it. But mine has only been auditory. So I've heard voices and things, but I haven't seen anything physical, thankfully, because that sounds terrifying. But give it
Yeah, I
time.
say it sounds great, but I probably
Well,
be
Julia
like,
saw at the Winchester house. You have a
Oh
photo
yeah, my
of a
photo of the
ghost.
ghost at the
oh my
Winchester Mystery House, which is
God.
definitely haunted that place for
Yeah,
sure.
I've been there, but I went there as a kid, so
Well, I'm sure I've shown you my ghost picture. I
yeah,
can send it to you,
yeah.
John, if you want to see it. You know, I got
Yes,
it. I feel
please.
Ghost
confident
hanging
about
out in
it.
the window, just chilling,
Yeah,
just saying hi to Julia on her tour.
yeah,
And
looking
it's
mad that he's stuck in that house. What
and it's
about you,
like,
John? Have
well,
you had ever any ghosty experiences for you?
So it's interesting. When I was a kid, I'm a materialist now. I don't necessarily believe, not necessarily. I do not believe in ghosts. I do not believe in
Okay.
the afterlife. I do not believe in any of that. But as a kid, when I was younger, raised in a church and totally believed that the afterlife was present all around us. I had lots of spooky experiences. But I will tell you, in this movie, I certainly felt haunted during the scene when we have the medium in that room and she looks
mhm,
at the presence. I'm actually getting a little bit of that chill reaction right now, all the way down from the back of my neck to like the middle of my
mhm.
back. It's chilling.
You said there were
Um,
2 moments that really did that to you. What was the other one?
it was both scenes with her when she comes
Oh,
back to the
interesting.
house and she's
Oh.
outside. I'm getting it again.
That's
If some
because there are some people, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna stop you there. It's because we talk about the open door where Steven, even though he's like, I don't know, and he gave the script to someone else to finish, because there's something about when someone is open next to you versus someone who's not. And I think there is something to be said that some people do experience more activity than other people do on this planet, partly because of whatever love, loss, whatever happens to you, as like the character talks about, as you crack open, there's a part of you sometimes that's like very receptive to the things around you. And so I'm not I'm agnostic about a lot of things, but I feel like it's one of those things where it's like when the dad, I think, had the best line. It's like, you talked about, we don't know what we don't know. And he talked with her about that. He's like, how his mom was religious. And he was like, I kind of thought it was crap. But now I'm like, we don't actually know. So I'm going to be open in that question because I see what's happening to you and I can actually see physically now too, you know?
Oh yeah, if when we get to the end, about one of the ways to survive this movie is to not be a ghost skeptic. Being a ghost
Mm.
skeptic is not safe.
No, it's not.
I would say don't let someone else fix your drink. That's a pretty good one for this one.
Yeah.
If
Well,
somebody keeps wanting to
Switzerland.
give you orange juice and the whole time is telling you it's all under your control, this is all your consent, just don't take the orange juice.
Yeah. Yeah. Ladies, we know
Mm,
this. We've this is
always
this
make
is
your own drink, and if you're
always.
at the bar, hold your own
yeah.
drink, and then also, especially, like, there are little things you can get to, like, put little caps on it, but hold
Oh,
on to your
yeah.
own drink, and once you set it down, if you do set it down for more than, like, 2 seconds, just order a new one or have somebody,
Totally.
like, just or
When
get a water, like,
when I
move
go to
on.
USC football games, I have like this big soda, and then like unless I'm with my friend, like David's husband Steve, he goes to the
Mhm.
games with me. Like if he's there, then I'll leave my drink because he's like, known him for my whole life pretty much. But if I'm by myself or like he's gone or like he goes to the bathroom, I'll take the soda with me.
Of course.
I'll never leave it there because I'm like, I don't believe I come back. I mean, who knows? I mean, there are people around me that I feel like I know enough, but who knows? I'm not going to leave this drink and go to the bathroom and come back
Nope.
and assume that it's fine.
Nope.
But can I ask a question? Since if we're jumping forward a bit to the end, we should technically have two ghosts in the house, should we not?
Who
Didn't two
says we
people
don't?
die in that house? Well, out the
Well,
house, through the house,
maybe.
onto the ground.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
but one of those ghosts should go straight to the bad place and not be like in an in-between place. I'm sorry, I don't.
That part. That part. That boy is going straight to double HE double hockey sticks for sure. He's going to hell. That kid is bad. And so he doesn't have unresolved business, and he's not there trying to save anybody later
Yeah.
on. So if someone is trying to arise themselves and awaken themselves to save another person, they're going to stick around. So no, if you are a resolved ghost versus an unresolved ghost, I think there's something about if you have business still on this plane, even if you don't know when it is, you will probably your
Then
presence
the
will
key
be
is to always
around.
have unfinished business so you can like hang around and be a ghost for a while, right?
I don't know if that's the life though.
Depends on where you get to haunt.
I just feel it's like crazy because I don't think I ever knew. I'm like, oh, I don't know who this ghost is because I think it's implied in the beginning of the movie, but you don't know yet. The main character Chloe, that her friend Nadia has died, and she just like her just stopped breathing, and people assume it's drugs. But you later realize what happened to her. We're, and I just think like she thinks it's her friend Nadia in the movie, and I think you're like, well, is it Nadia or is it just a ghost from the house? And then at the end I'm like, well, it's clearly not Nadia because like did she transfer to this house and follow her? But then I never ever thought that about this non-linear thing that it could have been her brother, and it's crazy to me that now that's why it blew my mind that I'm like, oh wait, it's her brother.
You
Like
didn't know
that's
that at the
crazy.
end. Wait, when you saw it
I
the first time,
watched
you didn't get that it was her brother.
No,
Who did you think it was?
I just thought it was like, I wonder, that's interesting, unresolved. I saw that the brother was there, but I thought he was
Okay.
just there now. But I don't think I cared about the whole time is not linear thing. That's why I'm like, I feel
So we're
so
getting a
stupid.
snapshot of all these
Um,
different times that they were in the house, but it's not that necessarily the time.
yeah, but
Like,
like because he's the one warning and stopping, and it's crazy to me that I didn't get that. But like that makes the movie even more like profound to me because I just thought, oh, it's unresolved. I wonder who that was. But it never occurred to me that because of the whole talk about non-linear
Yeah,
time, that it could have been him,
he's haunting
you know.
himself.
Yeah. And he's such a dick in the movie. And
but
you
you
could
get
tell
that's
he's like a
probably
bad
why,
person. Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
stuck and unresolved, and he's like, I got to do my good thing for like save my sister. So
Can we talk about Ryan, the
yes,
guy that
Mhm.
that
is
piece of
like,
shit. Yeah.
yeah. So like in the beginning when she first started dating, like she started talking to him, did you guys always hate him, or were you like, oh, he's kind of sweet? Because I actually, the second time I saw the movie, I knew that he was a horrible person, but I kind of thought the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh, he's kind of broken. What a sweetie pie. And I'm like, well, I'm the worst. I totally would have
No, the
felt for
whole
this guy.
thing where he did the thing where he was like, I don't have control, and I was like,
But
Yeah, it got kind of weird.
he said I decide nothing, and then he said you're in control. So I'm like,
You're in
actually,
control.
you are deciding something because you are giving control, so you are in control anyway.
Yeah, he was totally messed up, but I think in the very beginning when he's with her and he seemed kind of sweet with her. I was like, "Oh, And then he was like, "Oh, I have my home life isn't great." I'm like, "Oh, sweetie." So then,
No,
then I was
like
The
like,
he's
cute boy
that guy.
killers, you know
"He's
us.
He's
not." That's why I'm
preying on
like,
the broken girl. He's like that guy where you're just like
exactly. But the second
he's the
time,
guy
like,
at the funeral trying to hook up with you, you
how did
know?
I ever think this guy was a sweet person? And then I'm like, I
You're
don't know.
supposed to because he's a cute white boy. Like that's like you know what I mean though? Like that's how they get you. Like they're like, "Oh,
Sure.
like they're the ones that kill the most, whatever." Like
Yep.
it's not a good look. It's not a good look. And they're
Yeah,
always
I
so
just think I
sweet. You're like,
thought
"Mm."
you could see in the beginning why she's like, "Oh, this guy's like maybe sweet." But I mean, there's also a lot of red flags too. So, but anyway, the second time I saw it, I was like, "Oof, I don't know how I felt sympathetic about him." And
Well, it's like I watched somebody just show somebody like Fast Times at Ridgemont High for the first time, and so for the
yeah.
first half of the movie, they're like, "Damone's the best. I fucking love Damone," and you're like, "Yeah." So wait a minute, wait till we get to the turn. And it's like, I hate this guy, and I'm like, "Yes, there we are.
Yeah.
There it is."
Yeah. So it's a nice, character arc. And he's like really dark and twisted. I don't think anyone knew how bad it was
Mhm.
until you see what he does. Now I feel like I need to see it a third time because
You could watch
how
it
did
10
I
more times,
not?
honestly, and you
Yeah.
could literally, be like, "Okay," do, like, the Charlie Day string and be like, "Okay, this scene could go here, and this scene could actually go here, and this one's actually probably here, and this one's actually probably here, because this one's actually" you know what I mean, though? Like, and see where they're interacting, and also check, like, their sight lines. Like, I would you could get into the nitty-gritty. This is one of those ones you could absolutely get in the nitty-gritty on, and because someone like Soderbergh was behind the wheel, so to speak, on that,
Yeah.
he was having fun with them angles and
Well,
having fun trying to tell this story. You
I
could
could see
see
all
it.
the anger the ghost has now towards the brother
Yeah,
because
he's
I was
always
like, why
shaking
is
every
he
time
so
it.
mad? Like, yeah, he's telling a shitty story. Excuse me, I don't know if I can cuss. Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can.
Oh, he's about about what he's doing to this girl in school, and you're like, oh, he's not a nice person, and I can't believe the mom is okay with it. Like Lucy Liu's like his mom, and she says, oh, that's not really nice, but still, I would be horrified if my kid told me any of this stuff. But he just sounds like he's not a nice person. And then I'm like, oh, this ghost is really angry about this. And then like tears up his room. But maybe if it's him, he's like, I hate that this is who you are, and it's like unleashing rage on like who he was. So
Well, and,
that's
and
like,
his dad does say that there's a better man inside of you, and maybe one day you'll let it out. And so, isn't that the better man? So, okay. So, with that, how do you survive presence? Because it depends on who you are.
What you got, John?
yeah.
What you think?
So, first of all, everybody, I am an oldest brother. Be nice to your younger siblings,
Hmm. Hmm.
Yep,
especially the ones that seem to be struggling. I was
yep.
very much like the jock, sort of. I wanted everybody to think that everything was going great in my life. And so, anytime one of my siblings would mess up, I was very critical. And so, watching this movie, I've had to make a lot of amends. So, like, already been done.
So
But
you called and apologize to people after this movie immediately? You called and apologize to
no,
your
no, no.
family?
It happened before the movie, so I'm covered. I'm
Okay.
covered. I would have survived this movie. But yes, if Tyler had been paying attention to his sister because of their similarity in age, she may have been able to reach out to him, and they may be. First of all, they might have figured out what was going on with Ryan, that he was a total monster. But also, she probably would have been a lot more, a- perhaps would have been less susceptible of letting that monster more into her life. I don't know. I sort of feel like he would have been able to do a better job to protect her or to keep Ryan out of the house or whatever it is. Like he would have gone to less lengths to impress Ryan if he was doing a better job of caring for the people that he loves Chloe. Like obviously he loves Chloe. We see what happens at the end of the movie. That guy was always in there. He just needed to get over it himself. And so I have some empathy for Tyler, and it's good to see him come around. But yeah, he's a total jerk during the entire movie. So that is how you survive.
Yeah.
If you're the oldest sibling,
Be
be nice
nice.
to your younger siblings.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Be nice, and then don't buy a house from Julia Fox is my tip to the
Hmm.
family.
Hmm.
Maybe there's that. And not be so concerned about what school district your kid is going into if you know the house is probably not doesn't feel right.
Yeah. And I think picking up on little things like that. I don't know. I just being so aware of sounds and like and listening to your gut on things like that too,
Mhm.
because I feel like they kind of know, and there's like signs of stuff, and people just like don't are not as paying it much attention to it.
Yeah, believe your family when they say they see something supernatural. I would say that will
Yeah,
always help.
yeah. The
Mhm.
dad and the daughter storyline was so sweet.
Yeah. Mom, however, a little icy mom. That's
Oh,
okay.
I love a
She
Lucy.
learns
I
her
love a
lesson.
icy Lucy Lou. Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, that's because
Oh,
we have to have her. We have to have somebody be ice so that they can crack open. Because you have to have
Uh,
that as
they
well
gotta
for
have it.
part of the story. It's part of the storytelling, which I thought was so beautifully done. Well, we can do some movie ratings if you guys want. I got my
yeah.
my rating o-meter here. Um, Gore Factor: 1, not enough blood to fill a Dixie cup. 2, a puddle of blood. 3, enough blood to gross out the average viewer. 4, a bathtub of blood. 5, run for the barf bag. This is a 0. There was no
Yeah.
blood,
There's no
right? It's a
blood in
ghost
this, right?
story.
It's a
Mm-mm.
I
one.
don't.
Yeah.
There's none.
Even the broken bodies on the ground, there's no blood. It's just
Nope.
Oh yeah, that's a really vivid. That's just a really
It's a
graphic
vivid shot. So
scene.
we give it a 1
Yeah.
then, just for that, but we don't actually see any of the blood. So 1 for Gore.
okay.
If
And
we
then
had a
And then
chills
chainsaws.
factor,
chainsaws.
Oh,
Yeah, we're about
oh yeah, we
if
don't
we
have
had
a
a
chill
chills
factor.
factor,
we
this
don't
would
have a
be
chill
off
a
the
chills
charts.
factor. It's off the charts for sure. Do you want to do our movie ratings,
Chainsaws,
Julia?
yeah. 1, if you're desperate. 2, barely qualifies as a horror film. 3, seen worse, seen better. 4, not too shabby. And 5, fantastigorical. What do you give
I
presents?
give it a 5. I love this movie so much, and I actually even love it more. I didn't know it was possible to love it more before we started recording, but now I love it even more. I feel like it's even more profound after this discussion.
Excellent. We've done our
It's
job.
yeah. What about you guys?
John?
John, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so I would give this a 4. I would say the one missing chainsaw is that I kind of want more of it.
Yeah.
I love short movies, and I was excited when I saw how short this was, but
Yeah,
I
it's an
want to
hour and
spend
24. It's perfect.
I want to spend more time with Chloe and with Tyler. I want to find out what's going on with is Lucy Liu's name Rebecca? I think that's the
Mhm.
nurse
Yeah.
Yeah.
name. I want to know what's going on with Rebecca, like what corporate malfeasance she's engaged in, or if she's, covering up for her
That's not the ghost business though.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to know
I s-
all of it. I want the ghost to give me a little bit more insight, a little bit more info.
Ghost is a kid. He don't know.
I give it a 4. I think it was really cool, and I think the idea in itself is worth so much. And of course, Soderbergh knows what he's doing. Um, I guess I felt I needed it to go a little bit harder for me. I think the idea could have. So, yeah, that's why it's a 4. What did I?
Julia wants more blood and more ghosts. I give it
Yeah.
a 5. I freaking loved it. I was really pleasantly surprised with the turn and stuff too. Because honestly, um, partway through, I was like, ah, okay. I don't love POV sometimes. I don't like shaky, but it wasn't shaky. I can tell you that. I know your wife was worried about that, John. You talked about that because I'm usually really bad about that. I get like kind of seasicky if something's too handheld. But honestly, the shots once I kind of settled into like the groove of like this boat ride and how it was going to go were actually really, I think, really effective. And there was a lot of stillness as well too, because you could tell the ghost was evaluating things or where it would land,
Hmm.
in different parts of the room and, kind of where it was observing from. And so I really appreciated that we got so many different angles because I was worried it was going to be too samey, but it actually really did surprise me with different technical stuff. Of course, Soderbergh doing some fancy little footwork here and there. So I really did appreciate that. And I really just appreciated the emotions. Again, like I talked about at the top of, Chris Sullivan, I think is an incredible actor. One of my favorites from This Is Us. He was incredibly paired with my old friend Chrissy Metz. And so I just love like his heart. He was the heart for me, along
Yeah.
with that medium, along with Chloe, like that, all of those little pieces together. Just thinking about it now again, Becky, like you said, I'm like also thinking about like, oh, this movie could be like literally edited 10,000 ways and I could watch it 20
Yeah.
more times and be like, and still see something new. So I
You know
love
what's
that.
crazy? I just thought of it. This too is like when that scene where where the ghost puts away her books and her book, and I'm like, why are they doing this? And if it was so loving, and I'm like, and now I'm like, oh, it makes my heart break. Like I'm just like, oh, he's probably like so lovingly towards his oh my gosh, sister. That's
Hmm.
so sweet because you're like, why are this person clearly cares, like they're doing something really sweet for this person.
They're
And you're
very
like, who is this?
protective of
Why is this
her.
ghost so
Hmm.
protect? What's like one of the first things they do? And I'm gonna cry. So great.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Before you
Yay, we
cry,
love
tell us
that.
where people can find you on the internet and plug away.
Oh my gosh. You can find me on I'm still gonna call it Twitter. I will never not call it Twitter, but you can
Same.
find me on Twitter at Hollywood Minotaur, at Blue Sky on Hollywood Minotaur. It's spelled Hwood Minotaur, but it stands for Hollywood Minotaur. I'm on Instagram at the Becky D'Anna, and then you can check out our podcast, Director's Take, a Sony Pictures podcast. You can get it at wherever you get your podcast. And I believe the episode that we'll release is our Halloween episode. It's coming out, I think, a week after this episode drops. Will be on will also be on the Sony YouTube channel. So you can
Ooh,
watch that.
fancy.
Yeah, and it'll be a movie celebrating its 40th anniversary. You can try to figure out what that movie is. And amazing, amazing, extraordinary horror director. And we're really excited. We just can't reveal it right now on this show.
Okay.
Yes, we love a secret. Ooh, and you can find us all over the internet as well. John, where can people find you? Are you findable? Are you still
So
hidden?
I'm be-
Are you a
like
ghost?
Like a
yeah,
ghost?
like a
You are a
presence
ghost. You're a
on social
presence.
media. No, I'm relaunching my presence on social media. So I'm on Blue Sky, but I don't even remember the name that I have on Blue Sky.
Excellent.
So we'll do a
That
better
happened to
job of
me.
marketing
Julia
me.
was like, "You got to get back on there," and I was like, "Julia, I don't even know." Took me 3 months to figure out my old password and like also
Yeah.
find out the email that I logged in with to fix my password so I could have a new one. I get it.
So instead of yes, Director's Take, check out our podcast. We're so excited about it, so proud of it. I pinch myself basically every time we record an episode. I just feel like the luckiest guy on earth to get to talk to these people and get to talk to Becky. So instead, I'm going to give you guys some fun facts because I know you guys love movie fun facts about presents. So
please do.
first, I want to make sure that everybody knows that book that was so lovingly put back was Alice Hughes' You Always, You Never, which is not a real book, but was in another Steven Soderbergh film. So it's very much in the
Oh.
Soderbergh verse.
Nice.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I love
That is.
that.
Even better, there is a direct Stephen King connection. I don't know if anybody knows yet because of David Koepp, the writer of this screenplay. So David Koepp, who's now written 3 Soderbergh films, but also if you go on his Wikipedia page, it'll just make you jealous because his Wikipedia page says writer of $2.6 billion worth of grossing films like Jurassic Parks and on and on and on. Just a really
Mission
successful guy.
Impossibles.
But he also directed Secret Garden with Johnny
Oh.
Depp, which is a Stephen King adaptation.
Secret Window, you mean?
Oh my gosh, I totally messed it up. You guys
That's
can take
okay,
my
but
Stephen
I
King.
have it
I
part
love
out.
that. That's
Yes.
all right. Julia has it on VHS, so there you go.
Last and probably least is Beth Jarrett is a reference to Ordinary People. So when Monster Ryan starts talking
Yeah.
about how his mother is Beth Jarrett, which again, red flag. If somebody is complaining about their mother right before they're gonna make out with you,
Not the sexiest topic of
Not
conversation,
hot.
you know?
Not hot. And also, yeah, I'm very clearly he's got some mommy issues, like from the jump.
John
If you have
is so-
mommy issues, don't hit me up on all the platforms. But if you don't have mommy issues, hit us up: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our Patreon. Like, follow, subscribe on our YouTube here if you're watching. Again, tell a friend, pass it along, let them know. Make sure you guys check out our dear friend's new show. And so on the Sony YouTube and on all the platforms as well.
And,
And Julie also has 2 other podcasts as well.
Yeah, you can find me talking about Stephen King on the Losers Club podcast or all about Alejandro Jodorowsky on Jodorowsky. And we
Yeah.
also do a show with the Jorge Romero Foundation called Horror X. We talk women in films and horror, and you can find that on the Garf's YouTube channel.
All right, yeah. Fantastic. We did it, you guys.
We
We
did it.
survived all the ghosts that tried to stop us today. All
let's
right,
be
thank you
honest.
so
I
much.
was most likely to die.
Well, we were going to say it.
That's Julia.
I survived.
That's my best friend. That's my best friend. Coming in at anyway. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Horror Movie Survival Guide is independently produced by Terry Gamble, Julia Marchesi, and Sierra Ryan. Hey, that's me. If you would like to support the show, find us on patreon.com/horror movie survival guide.